Apes. How do you say apes in Italian?
It's the big monkeys.
One branch I read of a species of chimpanzees says something like territorial wars, and when the army, I suppose you'd call it, of one tribe prevails and captures an enemy, quote, several males hold a hand or foot of the rival so the victim can be damaged at will, unquote. This is so disquieting. If beings with whom we share so many genes can be this cruel, what hope for us? Still, rival, victim, will. Don't such anthropologic terms make those simian social political conflicts sound more brutal than they are? The chimps that Catherine and I saw on their island sanctuary in Uganda, we loathed. Unlike the Pacific mountain gorillas in the forest of Windy, they fought, dementedly shrieked. The dominant male lorded it over the rest. They were, in all, too much like us. Another island from my recent reading, where Columbus, on his last voyage, encountering some Indians who greeted him with curiosity and warmth, wrote before he chained and enslaved them, "They don't even know how to kill each other." It's occurred to me I've read enough. At my age, all I'm doing is confirming my sadness. Surely the papers, war, terror, torture, corruption, it's like broken glass in the mind. Back when I knew nothing, I read all the time, poems, novels, philosophy, myth, but I hardly glanced at the news. There was a distance between what could happen and the part of myself I felt with. Now everything's so tight against me, I hardly can move. The Analects say people in the Golden Age weren't aware they were governed, they just lived. Could I have passed through my Golden Age and not even known I was there? Some gold. Nuclear rockets aimed at your head, racism, sexism, contempt for the poor, and there I was, reading. What did I learn? Everything, nothing, too little, too much, just enough to get me here. A long-faced, white-haired ape with a book, still turning the page. Wait. Chop, hack, slash, cleaver, boning knife, axe. Not even the clumsiest clod of a butcher could do this so crudely, time, as do you. Dismember me, render me, leave me slop in a pail. One part of my body 100 years old, one not even there anymore. Another still riven with idiot vigor, voracious as the youth I was, for whom everything always was going too slowly, too slowly. It was me then who chopped, slashed through you, across you, relished you, gorged on you, slugged your invisible liquor down raw. Now you're polluted, pulse, clock, calendar, taint you, befoul you. You suck at me, pull at me, barbed wire knots of memory tear me. My heart hangs inert, a tag end of tissue, firing, misfiring, trying to heave itself back to its other way with you. But was there ever really any other way with you? When I ran as though for my life, wasn't I fleeing from you or for you? Wasn't I frightened you'd fray, leaving me nothing but shreds? Aren't I still? When I snatch one of your moments and clutch it, a pebble, a planet, isn't it wearing away in my hand as though I, not you, were the ocean of acid, the corrosive in which I dissolve? Wait, though, wait. I should tell you, too, how happy I am, how I love it so much, all of it, chopping and slashing and all. Please know I love especially you, how every morning you turn over the languorous earth, for how would she know otherwise, to do dawn, to do dusk, when all she hears from her speech creatures is wait. We whose anguished wish is that our last word not be wait. This is a very similar poem from a different side. Haste. Not so fast, people were always telling me. Slow down, take your time. Coaches, the guy who taught me to ride, slow down, take your time. Teachers, coaches, the guy who taught me to ride. Stop cowboying, he'd shout as if that wasn't the point. But the admonition that stuck was the whisper, that girl, that woman, that smudged now, dear girl, woman, legs so tightly wound round me, sighed, young as she was, to my ear. Ah, the celestial contraption we made, though. No matter how you swerved it, it held together. Why not go faster? But she, with her fluttery guttural slower, go slower, knew better, knew better. No one says not so fast now, not Catherine when I hold her, not our dog as I putter behind her, yet everything, past, present, future, rushes so quickly through me I frayed like a flag. Unbuckle your spurs, life. Don't you know up ahead where the road ends, there's an abyss? No room for galloping anymore here. Surely by now you should know better. No better. The day continues lovely. With fear and trembling, I studied my Kierkegaard. With sickness unto death, I contemplated with him my spiritual shortcomings, and it didn't occur to me until now that in the Kierkegaard I've read, he never takes time to actually pray. Odd, this isn't to question his faith, who dare, but his, agenda. All those intricate paradoxes of belief he devotes his time to untying, retying. Can it be that Kierkegaard simply forgets to pray? He's so busy untying, retying. I understand that. I have times I forget to remember I can't pray, can't pray. This June morning, just after sparkling daybreak, and here I'm not praying. My 3 grandsons asleep on their mats on the floor of my study, shining all 3 more golden than gold, and I'm still not praying. Why aren't I? Even our dog Windy sprawled beside Turner, the youngest, Turner's sleep-curled fist on her back. Why haven't I prayed about them? I can imagine someday something inside me saying, well, why don't you? Something inside me, as though suddenly would be something inside me. There's a Buber story I'm probably misrepresenting that touches on this. A rabbi spends endless hours deciding whether to do good deeds or pray. He thinks this first, then that. This might be good, that might be, maybe that would be better. And suddenly a voice that can only be God's erupts. Stop dawdling. And God, he thinks, he's been chastised by God. Stop dawdling. And what happens then? In my anti-boobering of the tale, everything's lost. The fool's had his moment with God. Even Moses had only how many? And he squandered it because all he could do was stand stunned, mouth hung metaphorically open, losing his chance to ask for guidance. But he'd vacillated again. And what happens now, he wonders in anguish. Maybe I should get out of this business, find a teaching job, write a book on my desolation, my suffering. Then he hears again louder, stop, stop. But this time, it's his own voice, hopelessly loud, and he knows he'll forever be in this waiting, this without God, his glimpse of the undeniable already waning. And what about me? Leave aside Kierkegaard, Buber, the rabbis, just me. Haven't I spent my life trying to make up my mind about something? God, not God, soul, not soul. I'm like the binary kid, on, off, on. But isn't that what we all are? Overgrown electrical circuits, good, bad, hate, love. We go crazy trying to gap the space between on and off, but there is none. Click, click, left, right. Humans kill one another because there's no room to maneuver inside those minuscule switches. Meanwhile, cosmos roars with so many voices we can't hear ourselves think. Galaxy on, galaxy off, universe on, but another just behind this one more out front waiting for us to be done. They're flowing across us, sweet swamps of being, and we thrash in them, waving our futile antennae. Turner's awake now. He smiles, stands, Windy yawns and stands too. They come to see what I'm doing. Turner leans his head on my shoulder to peek. What am I doing? Thinking of Kierkegaard, thinking of beauty, thinking of prayer. There's one section in this poem, there's the phrase Sylvia Hart, part of the tribe. How did you translate that as Sylvia Hart?
Sylvia, and I put a note. Emily is Emily Dickinson. Sylvia.
Sylvia Plath, right, okay. We're cool. Writers writing, dying. Many I could name but won't who'd have been furious to die while they were sleeping, but did. Outrageous, they'd have lamented, and never forgiven the death they'd construed for themselves, being stolen from them so rudely, so crudely, without feeling themselves like rubber gloves stickily stripped from the innermostness they'd contrived to hoard for so long. All of it gone, squandered, wasted on what? Death. Crashingly boring as long as you're able to think and write it. Think, write, think. Just keep galloping faster and you won't even notice you're dead. The hard things when you're not thinking or writing, and as far as you know, you are dead, or might as well be, with no word for yourself, just that suction shush like a heart pump or straw in a milkshake. And death, which once wanted only to be sung back to sleep with its tired old fangs, has me in its mouth. And where the hell are you, that chunk of dying we used to call muse? Well, dead or not, at least there was the fancy of some scribbler, some thinker and right person. Maybe it was yourself soaring in the sidereal void. And not only that, you were holding a banjo and gleefully strumming and singing, jaw swung a bit under and off to the side, the way crazily happy people will do it, singing songs or not even songs, just lolly-molly syllable sounds. And you'd escape even from language, from having to gab, from having to write down the idiot gab. But in the meantime, isn't this what it is to be dead, with that Emily fly buzzing over your snout that you're singing almost as she did? So what matter if you died in your sleep or rushed toward dying, like the Sylvia Hart part of the tribe who seized too quickly to be and left out some stanzas? You're still aloft with your banjoless banjo, and if you're dead or asleep, who really cares? Such fun to wake up, though. Such fun, too, if you don't. Keep dying. Keep writing it down. Thank you.
Grazie.
Thank you.